Hello, I'm AppyXToyCat and welcome back to the video. So as a lot of you are probably already aware, one of my favourite things to do in Minecraft is kind of break the game. That might seem like a really strange thing to do, like why do you play Minecraft and enjoy breaking it? That seems counterintuitive, but the truth is one of the best things about Minecraft is the fact that it's always designed to run usually at a pretty solid frame rate across all the platforms it runs on. They do a lot of clever tricks to make this happen, but sometimes if you do a lot of serious stuff all at once, you can kind of break the game, you can get your frame rate down, and it's like a challenge between myself and the game. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to break Minecraft on the brand new Xbox One edition, because it is a lot trickier than it would have been before, but there are some fun ways you can do it that I'll be showing you in today's video. And let's just say we're going to get down to like 0 point something FPS. So hopefully you do enjoy this video. Like if you do like it helps out the channel, and let's know you do enjoy seeing the breaking of the Minecraft. But for now, let's get straight into breaking this version of the game. So the basic tips that you'd go straight into when you're like, okay, how do we lower the frame rate, is to first of all you want to max out your your render distance, and you want to max out your anti-aliasing. If you don't know, these are both settings in your advanced video options. You have to enable this little box right here, there's somewhere up there. You have to enable advanced video options, and then you can turn up your render distance to 22 chunks. That's the max in console right now. And you want to also go to your anti-aliasing, and you want to turn that all the way up to 8 as well. Again, this takes a little bit more graphics strain, and it means that when your game starts to break, it's going to really start to break. I mean, particle render distance you could turn up as well, but it's not too important. And yeah, basically once you turn both of these things on, then what's going to happen is the game is going to be a little bit more intensive, and it's going to run a little bit worse. It only says 59.5 right now, but that means that if we do start to do something intensive, like if we try to load in chunks really quickly by say, let's fly around Varelytra as fast as we can, let's fly as fast as we can, and let's fire some firework rockets, you'll see eventually we start dipping the frame rate as we're loading in new chunks and the game's trying to render like 22 worth at a distance. Again, it's going to start happening, and you're going to see the game slow down a little bit with all the stuff that it does. But this isn't quite breaking the game. You can see it's functioning like entirely fine. We're flying fast, but like, nothing's actually really breaking right here, even with that turned up to the max. So that means that we have to involve entities if we want to get this lower, because again, the game's running pretty fine with just like going fast, having everything maxed out. But the problem where things fail is entities. So entities are something in Minecraft where the game has to update every, like split second or something, so that the entity can make decisions. An example of an entity would be a mob. This is the most prominent example, but also stuff like, armor stands for some reason, count as entities. There's a lot of boats, for instance, minecarts. A lot of different blocks are actually entities in disguise, which means that they're changing. They kind of function like a player. And we can kind of use this for our advantage, and we can spawn in a bunch of these, and we can cause some lag. So if we wanted to, we could just like sit here with a pig spawn egg, or like a spawn egg for like a chicken or something, and we could sit here and be like, aha, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to spawn in just sheep off, sheep off, sheep. But you notice how even if you spawn in a bunch of them, the game, like where the previous game would reach its mob cap, we're still going to have a pretty nice frame rate. You're going to see, like, again, it's at 55.8 despite spawning in a billion sheep in front of us, because again, the game is designed to handle a pretty decent number at once. You can go even into the hundreds of sheep, like maybe about 100, 200, and you're still not going to notice any difference. Like the mob cap from before, you can go well above without breaking the game, but the thing we're going to do to make this a little bit easier and to really see where the line is drawn is we're going to get ourselves a command block. So you can get command blocks on the console version of the game. You might not be familiar, but you just have to type in, first of all, give, and then give your gamer tag. So give toycat in my case, because fun fact, my gamer tag is toycat, and then you type command underscore block. So I don't have an underscore key on this keyboard, so we're going to have to go to the thing over here. But there, you can give yourself a command block. If you want to have a purple or a blue command block, they do very slightly different things, but you can give yourself those too. But for now, we'll just give ourselves a command block, and then you'll see how to do this. So yeah, once we get one of these, this is what it looks like. You can give yourself more, or you can just chill with there, whatever you want to do. But we have ourselves a command block, and now we're going to place it down, and we're going to give itself, we're going to give it the command to slash. So this is how you do it, by the way. You type slash and then summon. Oh, I'll just do it on the keyboard here actually. You want to type summon and then, yeah, whatever mob you want. So we can type cow, for instance, and every time we power a redstone signal to this block, again, it's as simple as that. We just set it like this. Every time we send a redstone signal to this block, it's going to summon a cow. So as you can see, there's a cow, and so on and so forth. So they're going to spawn on top of this, which is, I guess, a little bit weird, but that's kind of a fine thing. And now we're going to enable, now because, if we had to randomly press it up and down every time, it wouldn't be much faster. What we'll do is we'll set up a little redstone circle, like you might have seen earlier, and we're going to have this go off and a little bit of a timer. So this is going to, a little bit of like a thing here. So you're going to see how, like, if we can actually time this right, which we have to turn these up a little bit, if we can actually like set this up correctly, it's going to be going on, off rapidly, which means when we hook this up to our command block, it's going to be spawning cows like it's nobody's business. business. So this means we can just sit here and we can wait for the cows to spawn in repeatedly, and we can start to see the frame rate lower a little bit as we do this, because now we've got like 30 cows, now we've got 40, and we can just kind of sit here and we can watch this. And even with the maxed out, again, even with the maxed out settings, even with like cows spawning in like it's no one's business, even with commands running in the background, you can see the 60 FPS holds up for a surprising number of cows, but at some point we're going to start to see that just suddenly drop. It seems like on the console version there is just a magic point where things drop, and I'd like to show this with cows where like things start to get a little bit shaky. What if I said instead of spawning in cows, we do something a little bit different? So if I could just get rid of this little block on the floor, please. So if we just acknowledge that we have like maybe 100 cows here, maybe 150, something like that. What if we spawn in something a little bit more intensive? So again, you can summon any mob you like this way, and what if we typed in something like, let's say, the Ender Dragon? So I forget if you actually have to type like an underscore or something for that, so we'll just try, so let's go X, and then Ender, and then underscore dragon. So if we tried something like this, because fun fact, you can spawn in Ender Dragons from lock. This is something that was actually shown to me by Player1 on Twitter, so big thank you to him. You can actually spawn in Ender Dragons just like this, and that means that we hook this up to our thing. Again, I'm going to assume this works. We'll test it just to be certain. Oh, that's not going to be a good example. Let's just start spawning like that. And as you can see, the Ender Dragons do work. So if we start doing this, you can see we've got a much more intensive mob, and we're spawning in a bunch of these all at once. So what's going to happen is it's going to spawn in Ender Dragons like it's no one's business, and eventually what's going to happen is there'll be too many Ender Dragons on the screen at once. Ignore the fact it's on during the game. I accidentally left it open. But you can see how like there's a sudden dip from like, oh yeah, things are fine, 30 FPS, to, oh no, things are not fine, 13 FPS, I think that is, to, oh no, things are not fine in the slightest, we're now at like 1 FPS or something like that. And yeah, just my point here is that there is such thing as breaking Minecraft, and it looks like the easiest way is to spawn in mobs, because there's no mob cap on this version of the game, which is handy most of the time, but you can abuse it and you can break the game. And as you're going to see, the more we leave this, our frame rate's going to dip more and more. So we got 1.4 FPS so far, and then our redstone just broke, and I wonder why the redstone broke, actually. We got 1.4 FPS so far, and then our redstone broke. Yeah, it looks like the redstone turned itself off, or it looks like it's turned off. It could just be at sensitivities, but you can see, like, looking at the ground right there, we can't see anything. Oh, every time we look down, my camera's, like, forced back to the ceiling. This is, like, the weirdest glitch. But we're on 1.4 FPS regardless of where we look. And as you can see, things are just a little bit broken. Yeah, maybe the person who came into the game broke it. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, as you can see, even just the Ender Dragons being there, not like spawning them anymore, is still causing my frame rate to be literally 1 FPS. Every second, it's giving me 1 frame. I'm not playing a game at this point. I'm watching a slideshow. And the dragons themselves have done like an absurd amount of damage if we look over there. And I'd like to set this up, but we're at 1 FPS now. So, Soycat versus Minecraft, who wins? Well, let's just say that Minecraft is broken, and I'd like to consider that a win personally. I think maybe the person did go in and destroy it, which probably, I mean, again, maybe the dragon destroyed it or something. It's hardly certain. But yeah, hopefully you did all enjoy this video. It looks like they can move around fine, so they probably did that. That's not cool. You shouldn't join videos and do that. But anyway, with that said, this is a proof that you can break Minecraft pretty bad. And although we can just about get out of this game right now, so we're gonna do that actually. If we get out of the game, every time we try to come back in, it's going to have the exact same lag issue. So yeah, I just to kind of show that you can do this without Ender Dragons, because Dragons are the fastest way to get down to 1 FPS. You can get down to 0.1 FPS if you keep spawning them in. You can also do this with any mob in the game. It just takes a bit longer, because bear in mind, there's more complexity with doing it with Dragons. But if you wanted to do this, then let's, just as a hypothetical, then you could do this with another mob. So I did this with pigs, for instance. But the thing is once you lag up your game, it's going to be very tricky to get back to like running speed. So this was the similar thing where it was left at like maybe 2 FPS or something like that, and now you can see it says 11 FPS, but it's the exact same thing. Okay, it's 2.3 FPS. You can see how like, because, and the redstone's still hooked up here. So you can see things just don't load in properly. The game is just not correctly functioning because, fun fact, you're not meant to have this many pigs at once, and the game's still trying to load in more, which means that it's just going to go down and down and down and down. So I hope you did enjoy this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it for a little bit, and in the background you're going to see it at like, like 10 times speed. So you can see just how the frame rate dips and dips and dips and dips. Like this video if you did like it, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like these sorts of videos, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for watching. It's impossible to like get anything done here. Yeah, do all the stuff I said, and thank you very much. I'll see you all in the next video. So have a nice day, enjoy the super speed, and goodbye.